All right, we have multiple breaking stories to get to. Democrats now coming to grips with their new reality that they're living in a world where Donald Trump is the most popular politician in decades. Even CNN coming around to this, openly trashing Joe Biden, and not pundit trashing. We're talking 2 full minutes of a CNN anchor reading from a teleprompter about how awful the sitting president is. And Mitch McConnell single-handedly killing the Matt Gaetz nomination. New details about what really happened behind the scenes there and who Mitch McConnell and the establishment order is pushing for Trump's next FBI director. You won't believe this. The gall on this guy, the balls on Mitch McConnell. And what we think about Pam Bondi. Will she do what Gaetz had promised us? A lot of promises were made, big promises. Can she really fill Matt's shoes? We're going to break it down. And what the hell is happening in Erie County, Pennsylvania? Outrage erupting yesterday from the good people of Erie County, flooding City Hall in their red MAGA hats, protesting, demanding that their city council president resign immediately. We have the details, but before we get started, thank you for liking and sharing these videos. It really helps out the channel, and consider subscribing so you don't miss these regular updates. So Democrats are having a rough go at it. Most of them have gotten through the denial phase of their loss, and they've entered this depression stage of the mourning process. Nancy Pelosi, for instance, telling ABC yesterday that she's having nightmares. Every single day she's been waking up and remembering what reality looks like. And think about that for a minute. Dems just spent the last 8 years of their lives trying to convince the world that Trump is Hitler reincarnated. They made their entire lives, their careers, about opposing one person, Donald Trump, standing and fighting for what they're against. Only now to wake up and find themselves living in a world where that same person is the most popular guy in modern history, most popular politician. They're waking up lost, folks, realizing maybe they weren't on the right side of history after all, and they're taking it out on the big guy. Even CNN now ripping into the current president, doing something they haven't done his entire presidency, showing their viewers Joe Biden in his natural state, just showing him interacting with the world and talking honestly about what that looks like. Watch this.
Increasingly clear, it is Donald Trump's world, and we're just living in it. The most powerful rocket ever built, blasting off from Texas yesterday, with its creator, Elon Musk, looking on with the president-elect of the United States. All of this as President Biden prepares to step off the world stage. Here he was in Brazil earlier this week, the first sitting president to visit the Amazon, seeming to wander into the jungle. He missed this group photo of the G20 leaders, apparently due to a scheduling conflict. He is stepping off the stage as this made-for-TV cast of characters steps on stage for the new Trump administration.
So Dems are coming to grips with this reality that their entire platform about being what they oppose is actually terrible. Nobody cares. Nobody believes it. Some of them are now shifting. We're watching the party splinter in real time, splinter into multiple factions. You have the Never Trumpers over here who are going to go on doing what they've done the last 8 years, but it's getting smaller. That faction's getting much smaller. Then you have this new faction that's getting on board, realizing Trump's not that bad of a guy, and maybe we can actually work with him. Cenk Uygur, a more traditional liberal, coming out yesterday, shocking his viewers, telling his party to take the win on government spending, writing on X, why would we fight them on a good thing that we agree on? Now, I don't know if liberals agree on cutting government spending, but watch what he said.
Yeah, I can't imagine what the problem is. What I'm telling the left is take the win. It's not that complicated. So they say, well, look, they're not really going to do it. Well, then if they don't do it, then we'll call them out on it. Again, where's the problem? Oh, they were actually going to cut Medicare and Medicaid. That's probably true, and it's very likely, and we'll fight them on that. But why would we fight them on a thing we agree on? So we've been wanting to cut the Pentagon for decades on the left. And there's a reason for that, too. It's because that is where the biggest fraud and abuse are. Because anytime you go to cut the Pentagon, they go, oh, you're going to endanger national security. Oh, my God, all of our lives are going to be lost if you cut it by $1. That's why they stuff all the pork in the Pentagon. If they're going to cut, they got to cut at the Pentagon. And now we're having a conversation. And by the way, Marjorie Taylor Greene today, when talking about how she's going to head up the Doge committee in the House, said one of the first places to cut is the Pentagon.
In another story, Matt Gaetz has withdrawn his name for Attorney General. Writing on X yesterday, I had excellent meetings with senators yesterday. While the momentum was strong, it's clear my confirmation was unfairly becoming a distraction to the critical work of the Trump-Vance transition. Thus, I'll be withdrawing my name from consideration to serve as your next AG. So what the hell happened here? I'll be honest, this was a shocker. I didn't see this coming because even yesterday, I was hearing that the Trump team was all in on Matt Gaetz. I was assured of this, which is confusing, even going as far as telling Republicans on the Judiciary Committee that if you are on the wrong side of the Gaetz vote, you're buying yourself a primary, that Elon Musk will finance your primary opponent. So what the hell happened here? Well, it turns out that John Thune and Mitch McConnell were working behind the scenes to kill the Gaetz nomination from the get-go. Make no mistake about it, the reason Matt Gaetz dropped out is because John Thune failed to rally Senate Republicans, failed to do his job. Instead of taking his cues from the head of the party, Donald Trump, he betrayed Trump and listened to his longtime mentor, Mitch McConnell, who we're finding out last night had now flipped Lisa Murkowski and Susan Collins to a hard no. That made 3 no's. Right, Mitch McConnell, Susan Collins, Lisa Murkowski. Then the final straw yesterday was John Curtis of Utah, who I swear, in my opinion, McConnell has something on this guy. Managed to flip Curtis to a no vote as well. So early yesterday, John Thune calls up the Trump transition team and telling them that Gaetz will not have the votes to get confirmed and to start looking for a backup candidate. This is why we were absolutely opposed to John Thune becoming majority leader, and why these rhino Republicans, the old guard of the Republican Party, still has complete freaking control in the Senate. They need to go. They need to be primaried and replaced. The amount of damage that one person, Mitch McConnell, has done over the years is incalculable. And he's not done, folks. Wait till you hear what he's up to now, who he's pushing for FBI director. Before we look at that, though, Pam Bondi. Let's look quickly at Pam. Trump names Pam Bondi as new AG. So what's the deal with Pam? Well, I'll tell you this. The lifers over at the DOJ are celebrating the Pam Bondi pick, yet they were threatening to resign en masse if Matt Gaetz had gotten confirmed. I think that tells you all you need to know. Look, I want the truth about what the FBI found on that island in the Caribbean. I want names released. I want charges brought against everyone who participated in that. I want to know what really happened inside that freaking jail cell and so much more that I'm not convinced Pam Bondi will deliver. I hope she will, but I'm doubtful. And last night, we learned that old Mitchie McConnell isn't done with the backstabbing. He's now pulling favors to get Mike Rogers, of all people, as the next FBI director. Watch this.
He is someone who's experienced at the FBI. He just ran for Senate in Michigan and almost won, lost to Alyssa Slotkin there. If Trump named him as the next FBI director, how would you feel about that?
Keelan, I think Mike Rogers is a totally reasonable, logical selection for FBI director. If in fact that's the decision President-elect Trump makes. I think that the strongest qualification, in my own, on my own opinion about Mr. Rogers, is the respect and awareness and knowledge that he has for the intelligence community, for the work they do, for the seriousness of that work, for how those secrets and that sensitive information needs to be protected. So on all those counts, I think Mike Rogers fills the bill pretty well.
The gall of this man, realize what this means. If, and I mean if, he managed to get Trump somehow to pick Mike Rogers, that would be the Trojan horse that they've been looking for. This man is not MAGA. He's as establishment as they come, and moreover, he's weak. He's a pushover. We need someone rock solid to go into the FBI and bring it to heel. Just for a recap, a quick recap of all the public reasons Trump shouldn't give this guy even the time of day. Roll the tape.
And I credit George Bush and his administration for assembling this new intelligence community. They passed the Patriot bill that allows and takes the handcuffs off our intelligence services. Policymakers back here use words like illegal wiretap, the domestic surveillance program of the NSA. It could be abused. We're already seeing pressure on the Patriot Act that maybe we don't need it now. Couldn't be further from the truth. The bulk telephone metadata program is legal and effective. Provisions of the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act expire at the end of this month. We need to rapidly reauthorize these provisions, and we need to work toward making these tools permanent as a part of our arsenal. Self-restriction, big problem in U.S. intelligence collection. We're the only intelligence service in the world that is forced to go to a court. Well, we always joked in the intelligence space, we would love to get 1/10 of what Google has on you. I supported these programs when they were classified, and I support these programs.
And look, I've said it over and over again on X. If you're not following me there, I recommend you do. I said these salacious allegations about Matt Gaetz, don't believe them, don't fall for it. If they were true, he would have been charged so fast your head would spin. This is the Biden DOJ we're talking about here. This is what the left does every single time for every good nomination, whether it be for a Supreme Court pick, a cabinet nominee. They have the same exact playbook. They spin up these fake sex allegations, leak them to the media, who then runs with it as a hook, which then gives these establishment, spineless rhino Republicans the out they need to vote no. They're now doing the same thing to Trump's Secretary of Defense pick, Pete Hegseth, yesterday ambushing him on the Hill, putting this nonsense out there, saying it on TV, puts air into it. Roll the tape.
I want to thank the President of the United States for this amazing, humbling opportunity to be nominated to the Department of Defense. It's an incredible opportunity to not take lightly. I just want to thank the Vice President of the United States, J.D. Vance, who spent the morning with me, meeting with senators of the United States. We take very seriously the advice and consent role that the U.S. Senate has. We look forward to engaging in that process. We take absolutely nothing for granted, and we welcome the opportunity to talk to any senator that wants to talk to us.
Can't you sexually assault women in Monterey, California?
I have, as far as the media is concerned, I'll keep this very simple. The matter was fully investigated, and I was completely cleared, and that's where I'm leaving. Thank you very much.
In another story, Erie County, Pennsylvania City Council President Jasmine Flores was caught off guard yesterday as MAGA Republicans showed up to a city council meeting to protest and demand she resign immediately, rocking their red MAGA hats after this lady was caught red-handed, ranting on social media, calling Trump supporters racists and fascists and comparing them to the KKK. Watch this.
A recent Facebook post from Erie City Council's president made for a rowdy scene at tonight's meeting.
Tyler Gallagher was there at City Hall. He joins us now here in the studio with much more on what was said. Tyler.
Yeah, thanks, Sean. Dozens of Trump supporters filled City Council chambers tonight, calling for Council President Jasmine Flores to resign. On October 28th, City Council President Jasmine Flores made a post on her personal Facebook page accusing 90% of Trump supporters of being racist, even comparing them to the KKK. And many local Trump supporters took offense to that comment.
I just think it's disgusting because when she is calling people who wear red hats the KKK without actually getting to know us, without taking the time to talk to us and understand our positions, it's actually racism.
After the City Council president made some comments on Facebook comparing Trump supporters to the KKK, dozens of supporters came out to the City Council meeting tonight in their red hats, and some even wearing shirts that say red hats, not white hoods.
Well, what this is showing that, yeah, we're wearing red hats, but we are not members of the KKK. It's okay to think what you want to think and to post what you want to post, but when you're an elected county official or a city official, you're held to a much higher standard.
Some Trump supporters in attendance took to the podium for some passionate remarks for the council president, calling for her resignation. And even after public comment wrapped up, some attendees got into an altercation with security needing to get involved. But Flores stands by her Facebook comments, saying she will not be resigning from her position.
I stand by what I said. You see something, you say something. If I made them uncomfortable because of what I said, maybe you need to readdress how you guys are approaching the community at large. City of Erie voters elected me at large within city limits, and I will not disrespect them by leaving my seat. I will be running for re-election.
And Council President Flores says the behavior at the County Council chambers tonight was unacceptable. Back to you.